the back of your car. Walk to the back of your car. Walk to the back of your car.
Traffic stops are mostly boring, but some are really something. At times, police encounter such an annoying arrest, and at times it's the police who's at fault. If you want to see more of it, well, you should stay with us till the end of this video to figure out what we got for you. And trust me, you won't be disappointed. A woman from Florida is said to have yelled, "I hate police," and spit on a deputy who was trying to pull her over for driving her car on grass in an odd way. 2 counts of fighting an officer were brought against 35-year-old Darla Rachel Vidal by the Monroe County Sheriff's Office. 1 count was a felony, and the other was a misdemeanor. A Monroe County officer saw Vidal driving a car on the grass at a high speed on Key Deer Boulevard around 2:25 p.m. on Saturday, according to the Monroe County Sheriff's Office. This is when the whole thing began. The deputy tried to pull her over, but she wouldn't stop and kept going off the road and onto the grass. The officer who was trying to pull Vidal over got the middle finger from her, as if her crazy driving wasn't bad enough already. Right after Vidal finally stopped her car on Pensacola Road, she was very close to hitting a rabbit. But instead of following the deputy's orders, she ran toward him while yelling that she hates police and wouldn't stop when she was told to. During the attempt to pull Vidal over, the officer says she did not stop and instead kept going off the road and onto the grass. According to the sheriff's office, Vidal also reportedly gave the deputy, who was trying to pull her over, the middle finger. Before she stopped on Pensacola Road, she was very close to hitting a deer with her pickup. While she was trying to avoid being arrested, Vidal even challenged the police officer to shoot her. She also kept making excuses, saying she doesn't feel safe, and kept insulting the officer, calling him a newbie. She wouldn't listen to the officer even when he kept telling her to turn around and put her hands over her head. All of a sudden, she asked if she could reach out to her boyfriend, and tailed by saying she is a mother of 3. The police officer then told her that if she wouldn't listen to him, he would tase her. When the police officer finally put the handcuffs on her, he told her he smelled alcohol on her. She even called him a dog, and he responded politely that he was talking to her like a normal human being. It was she who didn't understand. Later, it was found that she had parked the car outside of her ex-boyfriend's house, explaining why she wanted to call for him and see him, but she was very drunk at that time. Just when we thought it was over, well, it wasn't. Guess who showed up? Her ex-boyfriend. The cop then started explaining to her ex-boyfriends how Darla was driving and wouldn't stop even if called upon repeatedly by the police to stop, and that Darla is going to go to jail. The man then tries to talk the police out of the situation, but the cop points towards the behavior of Darla. That is why she is going to jail. The cop keeps explaining to the guy that if I tell you to back down and you don't, because I am a cop, you have committed a crime, and for that crime people go to jail. Then we see some insane bickering among both Scott, who is Darla's boyfriend, and the cop. Now the bickering keeps continuing because Scott is interfering so much here, despite the police officer trying to make him understand that he is not her lawyer or father or anything. Long story short, the incident escalates further and the boyfriend is also handcuffed. The drama doesn't even end here when the police are taking Darla towards the station. The whole way she is talking nonsense. And even when they reach the police station, she keeps saying, "Let me see your supervisor," this and that. Because of this, she was arrested for 1 criminal count of resisting an officer and 1 misdemeanor count of resisting an officer. Very recently, police officials in the Dayton area reacted to body camera footage of an incident involving police officers and a black paraplegic man who was pulled out of his car during a traffic stop. The video got national news. On Friday night, the Dayton Fraternal Order of Police, Dayton Mayor Nan Whaley, and Dayton Police Interim Director and Chief Matt Carper all released their own comments. On Sunday morning, the NAACP Dayton unit held a press conference with the driver, Clifford B. Owensby Sr. On September 30th, the trouble began with a traffic stop in the 1900 block of West Grand Avenue. Dayton police say that 2 officers who were investigating drugs stopped Owensby's Audi after seeing him leave what they thought was a drug house. Someone called for a K9 to do a free air sniff because of the drug investigation and Owensby's past of drug and gun arrests. Per Dayton Police Department policy, the people inside the vehicle must exit for their own safety and the safety of the K9 officer in order to do the free air sniff, the department said in a Friday update. When the police told Owensby to get out of the car, he said he couldn't because he is paralyzed. Owensby turned down the police officer's offers to help him get out of the car. He kept ignoring orders to get out of the car and asked for a boss. Police say that Owensby grabbed the steering wheel when they tried to take him out of the car. He was then taken out of the car against his will, the statement said. Officers put Owensby on the ground to keep him safe. To bind him, the police had to pull his arms behind his back. Police said they found $22,450 in cash on the car's front floorboard. The fact that the money was found by a police dog means that it was probably close to drugs, according to the cops. Owensby was given tickets for two things: tinted windows and child restraint, because cops said there was a 3-year-old child in the back seat who wasn't wearing a seatbelt. The NAACP Dayton unit held a press conference on Sunday to talk about the incident. They said it shows that the police need to be reformed and officers need more training on how to deal with people who have mental health or other disability problems. Owensby complained to the NAACP on October 4th that the Dayton Police Department profiled him, unlawfully arrested him, and illegally searched and seized his vehicle, according to Derek L. Foward, president of the NAACP Dayton unit. He was not read his rights before being taken to jail. That is his complaint for our office, he said. Owensby also spoke at the news conference on Sunday. He said he didn't think he did anything wrong. "I am at a loss for words for what they did to me," he stated. "It was terrible shame. It was the purest form of hate." He said that someone helped him get into his car on September 30th so that he could take his kids to school. He said that his wheelchair couldn't fit because the car was already full. One of his younger children was with him while he ran errands and allegedly stopped at a house he owns to get cable boxes. He said the cops told him it was for a dark window tint when they stopped him. One of the cops reached into the car and unbuckled Owensby after telling him they needed a K9 unit to do a clean air sniff and that he had to get out of the car. Owensby said he grabbed the steering wheel and closed his eyes automatically as police pulled him out of the car by freeing his hands and pulling on his hair and arms. Owensby said he screamed for help as he was being pulled out and hit the ground hard. "I couldn't believe what was going on at that time. I yelled for help over and over," Owensby said. "The officer grabbed my hair again, slammed my head into the pavement, and put his knee on my neck. At the same time, the other officer grabbed my arm and pulled it behind my back." President of Dayton Fraternal Order of Police Lodge Hash, 44 Jerome Dix, said that when the police pulled Owensby out of the car during the traffic stop on West Grand Avenue on September 30th, they were following the law. Due to the crime trends in the area, coupled with Mr. Owensby's criminal history, which included arrest for possession of guns and narcotics, a police narcotics K9 unit was called to the scene, Dix wrote in a release for the group. The union said the police officer would help Owensby and kept telling him to get out of the car. The police officers went from asking Mr. Owensby to help with the traffic stop to telling him he had to. The statement made Friday evening said, "Even after these clear warnings, Mr. Owensby started to physically resist by slapping the officer's hand away from his seatbelt and gripping the steering wheel tightly. He was then taken out of the car against his will. Once removed from the vehicle, Mr. Owensby was placed on the ground, where he continued to be physically non-compliant," Dix said. The officers involved in the traffic stop used the least amount of force to remove Mr. Owensby from the vehicle. The officers followed the law, their training and departmental policies and procedures, said Dix. Sometimes the arrest of non-compliant individuals is not pretty, but is a necessary part of law enforcement to maintain public safety, which is one of the fundamental ideologies of our society. The mayor says the video is very worrying. Whaley said Friday night that the video of the cops talking to Owensby was very concerning. No matter where you live or what you look like, everyone deserves to be treated with dignity and respect when dealing with Dayton police, she added. Immediately following this interaction, the city released the body camera footage and a full investigation is already underway. Chief of Police for Dayton, we need to do better. In a prepared speech on Friday evening, Carper also talked about the incident. He said that the department is always trying to get better to meet its core values of professionalism, integrity, respect, and fairness. He also said that all Dayton officers and supervisors will be getting training in diversity, equity, and inclusion, as well as bias-free policing, de-escalation, and procedural justice. We need to do better, and this can be done by further developing mutual respect and accountability to make our city safer, he added. Well, that was all from our side. Hope you enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for more interesting videos coming your way, and we'll see you next time.